Today I am starting a video series for truth seekers on books they could read along their own paths to God and the freedom of thought towards anything else along their own path. These books I would suggest anybody to read, actually. In this video I am starting on books for freethinkers and non-believers. This book is on The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine, parts 1 and 2. Thomas Paine was one of America's founding fathers that was a deist and a freethinker. During the time of the American Revolution to the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror, and after that, during Thomas Paine's time in France, he wrote The Age of Reason. It's a book I would suggest anybody to read because it has a very skeptical view of the Bible and how the authorship of the Bible is questioned, and how every part of it is very, very, very difficult to really grasp, because what most skeptics would be skeptical of in the Bible, such as Jonah and the whale, for example, or Noah's Ark, or the miracles of Jesus, for example. Most people would be skeptical of those, but most deists and freethinkers, like Thomas Paine and Voltaire, would question the existence of Moses and Jesus, and probably anybody else from within the Bible, I'm guessing. Anyway, deism is about a philosophy of God creating the universe, and he steps back from creation and observation. He's also known as nature's God. I don't know if Thomas Paine believed in a God that stood outside it, in everything, and watched an observation without religious affiliation, but he believed in the Word of God being the universe, not a holy book, because as a holy book is man's invention, not God's invention. The universal language of God is creation itself, to a deist, that is. That's what Thomas Paine believed, and in his book, The Age of Reason. It's a good book for those who want to really look into his criticism of organized religion related to the Bible and his deism. Then his next book I would suggest to anyone is God and Human Beings by Voltaire. Again, like The Age of Reason, Voltaire criticizes organized religion, but also he questions the existence of Jesus and Moses, and puts in there a way of thinking about what if Jesus was different from what we think. Same thing for Moses. And he also sees the crimes done in their name, mostly with Jesus. Then you have his belief, his deistic view of how every religion references a supreme being or a creator from every religion. That's what Voltaire believed. The next book that is also by Voltaire is The Philosophical Dictionary. The Philosophical Dictionary is about Voltaire's views. He put into a form of a dictionary, which has his freedom of thought. He criticizes a lot of things in religion, but in his freedom of thought, he wrote on atheism. His deistic views to I think I said atheism, but anyway, he wrote stuff on atheism. Anyway, it's a good book for those really wanting to grasp a knowledge of free thought. Though these are his views, you have to understand that. Now, from another America's founding fathers and presidents, the Jefferson Bible. The Jefferson Bible was made by Thomas Jefferson. It's his version of New Testament that is without all the supernatural myths and miracles of Jesus. That has more of a rational take on life of Jesus in the New Testament. It's a good book for those who want to really understand a historical Jesus from another aspect, another version of truth, without the organized religion. Another book was made by an agnostic. Actually, two books I'm to mention by the same agnostic, which is also his lectures. Robert Green Ingersoll, or Robert G. Ingersoll. Robert Ingersoll was agnostic. He was known as the Great Agnostic because during his time he didn't want to be called an atheist. He wanted more of a softer version of atheism, which he called himself agnostic, where he did not know if God existed, but put into a skeptical question. Gods and Other Lectures is a good book for those interested in finding how God's even God from organized religion is not compatible with the natural world, and how it's all the superstitions and how organized religion had did terrible things in the name of God and organized in their gods at the time, but he also supported reason. He also supported reason, nature, the science of man, the sciences of man of his time, and he admired the universe than he did with organized religion. He supported heavily on the freedom of thought. He even had Thomas Paine as one of his heroes and influences that he learned, I'm sure, a great deal from him on his criticism of organized religion. Another book by Robert Green Ingersoll is Why I Am an Agnostic. Robert Green Ingersoll goes into his lifetime of how he was led to be agnostic, be known as the Great Agnostic. He even tells later on about his skepticism and if there is a God or not. He also wrote about his own influences, like Zeno from Stoicism to Shakespeare to Thomas Paine to a lot of great philosophers that led him to his way of thinking. Another book that anybody should read if they're a non-believer or open-minded to this one is Why I'm Not a Christian by Bertrand Russell. Again, a book for any non-believer and freethinker. It's about his Bertrand Russell's reasons for not being a Christian, and that it's a book for freethinkers as well. He will state his arguments. He will state reasons of arguments for being not a Christian, and the character of what Jesus was. And he also compares different areas of a few references of Eastern thought, such as Buddhism. If you have Buddha and Jesus is saying the same things or similar. Then you have other essays he's written, even on Thomas Paine, in this book. Not besides his book, besides his essay on Why I'm Not a Christian, he has one on Thomas Paine. He has what he believes in matters of there being an afterlife or not, and what Bertrand Russell believed in. With that, he just believed in that we die and go to the ground and rot. There's no other existence since he lived his life as a skeptic, even on organized religion. That is why one of the reasons why he chose not to be a Christian. He did not trust the dogmas of the church, and was skeptical of all that. And he found them that they were of no more use to him as he in his own path. Another surprising book, though it's a Bible, but it's not the Bible. It's the Atheist Bible. It's more of a quote book by famous non-believers. From Thomas Paine, Voltaire, Robert Greene, Ingersoll, Friedrich Nietzsche, and some surprising quotes you can actually find in there that are from Christian authors like J.K. Chesterton. Trying to think. J.K. Chesterton, maybe C.S. Lewis. I can't remember. Anyway, those are surprising to find in there. Even Pascal himself, or if anyone's well known with Pascal's wager, there's a quote by Pascal in there, which seems surprising to find. But anyway, it's a book for anybody that's looking for quotes for a research paper, a book, anything, etc. Another book that I'm going to present by Christopher Hitchens. No, it's not God's Not Great and Poison Religion. It's Everything. Although I have the book, it's not in my hands. Anyway, this is The Portable Atheist by Christopher Hitchens. It's selective readings by many non-believers on God or religion that Hitchens was able to collect, and he summarized who they were and what they wrote about in relation to being a non-believer, as well as to either believing in God from deism, pantheism, or their own view of God, or they didn't believe in God at all. But their selective readings are essential So that Christopher Hitchens, I think, thought would work for any truth-seeking Gnostic, deist, pantheist, or deist, or any kind of non-believer. But it's a good book. You have Spinoza in here. You have David Hume. You have Thomas Hobbes. You have ancient thinker Lucretius. You have even Richard Dawkins to Sam Harris and Daniel Dennett. I think Daniel Dennett and Carl Sagan. You have a whole bunch of thinkers you can read from in that book that are non-believers. Even Einstein is mentioned in that book. Though Einstein wasn't an atheist, he had a pantheistic tendency on things. He admired Spinoza, who was not an atheist. He had a pantheistic view, though pantheism was not coined until later on. Anyway, more for a different video. Anyway, these are the books I would suggest to any non-believer or freethinker. So, till the next time, another book to present in my videos. For those along the path as a truth seeker. Well, have a good day. Thank you.